Now, Nyali Member of Parliament Hezron Awiti Bollo spent a lot of time this past Wednesday defending himself against claims of his involvement with the metal refinery EPZ, the lead smelting factory. The waste from this factory has killed dozens and poisoned hundreds in the village of Owino Uhuru, situated next to it. Bollo even claimed that some of the sick children featured in the Inside Stories Plague for Profit were not from the area. However, documentary evidence has now emerged proving a direct link between the embattled MP and the killer factory. KTN's John Alanamu has the new details that include the name of yet another Member of Parliament.
Three busloads of supporters, a 2-hour press conference, come political rally, and one message.
If you build houses or premises, there are many. Surely, can you know the person rent your house to know what he's doing inside there? Can you know? You can't know.
Nyali Member of Parliament Hezron Awiti Bollo's attempt to distance himself from proof that he was a partner of the owners of metal refinery EPZ, a lead smelting plant whose waste has caused untold suffering to thousands of residents of Owino Uhuru village in Mombasa.
Like now here, I'm a member of parliament. Wale wanauza hapa, wanaweza kuuza hata changa. Mimi nitajuaje wanauza changa?
But can he distance himself from this? In an attempt to clear itself over apparent complicity in the pollution of the environment at Owino Uhuru, officers within the Public Health Office availed these documents to KTN. They indicate that not only was Awiti Bollo the owner of the land upon which the smelting plant sat, he was, at one point, its executive chairman. The role of an executive chairman in most companies is reserved for an individual who plays an oversight role in the company, but also makes decisions about the day-to-day operations of that company. An executive chairman would also be a key signatory to any financial transaction made by that company and can draw a salary from the company. In essence, Hezron Awiti Bollo is not only the co-owner of the property on which metal refinery EPZ was built, benefiting from rent collected, but he was also deeply involved in the day-to-day running of the same company. Therefore, Awiti Bollo, as executive chairman, cannot claim this.
Surely, can you know the person rent your house to know what he's doing inside there? Can you know? You can't know.
The documents, with dates ranging from 2010 to 2011, are correspondence between the then Ministry of Public Health and Hezron Awiti Bollo over a 2009 closure of the metal refinery, pending its fulfillment of various safeguards within the factory, the most important of which being that the factory did not have a proper waste disposal system. The documents availed to KTN have Awiti Bollo's first correspondence with the Provincial Director of Public Health, Dr. Anissa Omar, saying that the factory had complied with all the demands made by the ministry and that John Dongo, the then Kilindini Public Health Officer, had inspected the factory. The correspondence continues into 2010, with Bollo again writing on behalf of Metal Refinery EPZ, referring to the factory's plans to dispose of the toxic waste created by the metal refinery and approvals from Public Health and NEMA to reopen the factory. On the 17th of June 2011, the narrative changes. This letter, also signed by Awiti Bollo as the metal refinery's executive chairman, is the company's response to yet another closure order issued this time by Public Health, not because of the internal functions of the factory, but over claims of dumping of waste at a seasonal river in Jomvu. This is the water pan in question, one that, at the time of our investigation, was found to have been a dumping site of another refinery. But according to the Ministry of Public Health, Metal Refinery EPZ, under the executive chairmanship of Hezron Awiti Bollo, also dumped lead waste here. Tests conducted by quality control company SGS for KTN's Inside Story and Jicho Pevu found that the area had the highest amount of lead deposits of any area where soil samples were taken. In this letter, Awiti Bollo denies the claims that Metal Refinery EPZ dumped waste in the area, saying that the factory had been allocated a safe dumping site in Mwakirunge, allocated by the Mombasa Municipal Council. In a sentence that cements Bollo's financial interest in the operations of Metal Refinery EPZ, he signs off saying, and quote, "Kindly do the needful at the earliest, as we are incurring huge losses due to unnecessary closure." Bollo, in his political rally this week, also claimed this.
Personally, I've refused to collect rent, and I told them to leave.
There is no evidence of this statement. In fact, his correspondence to the Ministry of Public Health points to the exact opposite. Interestingly, Bollo may not be the only current member of parliament involved in the running of the company. Another letter, dated the 7th of August 2009, asks the town clerk of Mombasa to allocate the company a dumping site for its waste. The letter is signed by Irshad Sumra as the company's managing director. Irshad Sumra is a current member of parliament for Embakasi South.
Kumar was an Indian, right? He wanted somebody Kenyan, that's me, to help him. When we went to the town clerk gave us these officers. The officers told them to write a letter requesting for a dump site. But writing a letter, I didn't authorize them to use my name. I'm not a managing director. I have not even got a salary, a single shilling of salary with these people.
At the heart of the controversy over this factory is the death of men, women and children in Owino Uhuru and the poisonous state of the environment. But to Awiti, it's all politics and lies. Anastasia Wambo, one of the residents of Owino Uhuru who we spoke to, now says that she's been receiving threats from unknown persons in relation to what she had told us.
Akasema mwana, nimkutaka hii maneno ile kampuni ni yangu. Mama wewe acha maneno mengi, useme hii habari ya kuandamana haina maana. Na hii kampuni hii Kenya ni watu wenye pesa. Na ukisema ati ya kwamba mtaandamana nyinyi ndio mtapoteza.
Awiti and his supporters labeled as false the allegations raised about Owino Uhuru and his involvement in the running of Metal Refinery EPZ. But according to documentation pointing to his direct involvement in the running of the factory, it's the label Hezron Awiti, Executive Chairman, Metal Refinery EPZ, that may begin to stick. John Alanamu, KTN.